Hi there. Okay, so I've got a couple of quite interesting things to talk about today. First of all, I'm going to start off with the Charlotte Tilbury hashtag Make Up Your Destiny campaign. I know Charlotte, and she's the most vibrant, delightful person. You know, she seems like she's full of confidence all the time, and you know, she loves makeup. She just genuinely, from her heart, absolutely loves it. And Charlotte's got loads of followers, so she can really reach out to an awful lot of people who maybe don't feel confident or as empowered as they want to. And I just think it's a really cool campaign, just other women giving advice to other women. You know, it's really that simple, and if it just makes you feel that little bit more confident, a little bit more happy with yourself, then great, all to the good. However, one of the things that she's asked for is to give advice to your younger self. And I know I've seen this on Instagram and Twitter, and you know, people post a picture of their younger selves. Anyway, I've got a picture, I'm doing it on a video, but I've got a picture of me when I was, I think I must have been 23. I got married really young. That's with my daughter, who literally was about a week old there, I think. And look at my hair. That's my hair, really. It's really curly. And I used to put it back in this twist, and I don't know why I ever did that, because it does look a bit odd, I have to say now. But look at my skin. You know, if I could have that skin back, I would be the happiest person in the world. But you know, this was like a really, really long time ago. And you know, I got married young, and I had my children quite young. My daughter's 23 and my son is 24. And, you know, so I'm sort of a youngish mum, really, I suppose, to have children that age. And when I think back, I was like a really wild teenager, completely, and always challenging things and being different, controversial. But I grew up in the middle of Scotland, which is just, you know, it was like the worst possible place for me to be, because there was nobody there. So all my kind of tendencies to want to be outrageous and wild and have like a great time, like what, talk to the cows. I mean, literally that's all there was. So I came to London on my own when I was 17. I didn't have any higher education particularly. And my first few years in London were really, really difficult. I knew it was where I wanted to be, but I didn't quite know how to be, if you see what I mean. So I suppose if I'm going to give any advice to my younger self, it would be patient. Would be to be patient and sort of grow into, like, allow yourself to grow into yourself a little bit before you start plunging at everything. But then that said, if I hadn't have gone for it, I wouldn't have had all the experiences. I wouldn't have met my husband, I wouldn't have my kids, I wouldn't, you know, have any of this. So I feel like my path was a difficult one in an awful lot of ways. But on the other hand, you know, I'm a late bloomer, I guess. I've sort of found my confidence now, and I wouldn't, it's not that I didn't have confidence, it's almost like I had too much confidence, and I, funnily enough, have less confidence now about lots and lots of things, nothing whatsoever to do with beauty, because I feel quite confident in my looks. But I think you can get into a sort of negative mind cycle of, you know, everything I do is rubbish, you know, it's all too hard, and I do fall into that camp now far more than I did before, because before I was like, well, no, everything I'm doing is brilliant. So that's just the confidence of teenagers, I think, sometimes, you know. So I don't know, advice to other women about feeling confident is, you know, I do quite a lot of I don't know, sort of mind checks, I suppose. So one of the things that affects me quite a lot is sort of like negative mental imagery. So, you know, if I think of myself, I immediately think, rubbish, you know, you're rubbish at everything, you're not good at everything. So what I do is very quickly sort of transport myself to a sort of more happy memory or thought. And one of the thoughts, it's a silly thing, But I took my husband was away, and I'd been given a voucher for a local restaurant, and I took my children. This was not maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and neither of them wanted to be up really, but I decided we would go out for breakfast, and they would just much rather have been in bed. And I just remember looking at these two really sleepy teenagers, and we had a lot of money to spend on breakfast, and I sort of quickly realised it was going to be quite a challenge to spend through this voucher just on breakfast. So I was going, oh yes, we'll have more juice, and my son was going, Mummy, I really don't want any more juice. I said, yes, he does, he'll have another juice, yes, we'll have more bacon. And these two kids just sitting there just going, oh God, please let this end. And it was just funny, and it just really did make me laugh. I mean, we did have a nice time, but you know, I was just a bit too enthusiastic for that time in the morning for them, and it always makes me smile. It's such a good sort of family memory. So whenever I get a sort of negative thought, which I do quite a lot, to be fair, I try and replace it with that one. So, you know, for every negative, I'll pop in a positive, but I have to be very conscious to do that. But I do it anyway. So that's the hashtag Make Up Your Destiny campaign. Pass on your tips for feeling stronger and more empowered. I'm not sure quite how much it has to do with makeup as more a sort of thing inside, how you feel inside rather than outside. But to bring it back to the fact that Charlotte's a makeup artist, then, you know, I would say if you are happy with, you know, if you've got amazing lashes that day, just embrace it. You know, if your skin's looking particularly lovely that day, just embrace it, take it. You know, don't look for the negatives, look for the positives, because there's always going to be one somewhere. So that's my little thing on that. Now, the next up is my the MAC Simpsons range. I was absolutely convinced that this was ridiculous and silly and wouldn't have any relevance, but I absolutely love it. It's so fun. But what I thought I'd do is try on the controversial colour, which is called, Nacho Cheese Explosion. So let's just have some fun with yellow gloss. And you will see that it's probably not for everyone. So here we go. There we are. That's what you look like if you make your lips the same colour as cheese. That's so awful. Oh my God, I'm scaring myself. Okay, I'm taking this off now, but I will show you, I suppose. I think I know a lot of MAC fans were hoping that there would be a blue gloss. Well, this is sort of the nearest to it, which is, it's definitely got a blue tone to it. It's like a fuchsia pinky purple, but it has got some blue to it. And I think it's quite nice. And I wouldn't say that I would be someone who would naturally go towards a blue tint, but I'm not sure if it's really showing up too much here, but there's definitely a kind of like a bluish, but it's definitely not blue as such. So the next one is, I've forgotten the name of this, Grand Pumpkin, which is like the orange one, which, you know, that looks, I thought it was going to be my natural choice, but no, it's not. Although, I love that it's a real, oh dear, you know, you'd think I'd never done this before, but it's a real sort of creamy orange. And I mean, I like it a lot and I will wear it, but actually the one that's captured my heart is Red Blazer, which is not red, it's pink. So there's all kinds of oddities to this particular range, but this pink is perfect. It's a warmer pink, it's not got the blue tones in it, so it's much more natural for my complexion. So that's it there. Anyway, you know, some really, really lovely products, but my advice is like steer well clear of cheese lips. You don't want that. The next thing that I've been really impressed with is Caudalie has a new oil, and it's called Overnight Recovery Oil. It's the most lovely, soft, gentle oil. And the reason it's called Overnight Recovery is because it's got all sorts of ingredients in it that just give you a little hydration boost overnight. I say a little, it's actually quite a lot. It's got jojoba, grapeseed, rosemary extract, funnily enough, which is anti-inflammatory. And it's got sesame. You can tell I haven't learned this, can't you? Because I keep looking at my press release. Rose, but just absolutely gorgeous. If your skin is dry, or if it's just, you have days where you go, I've done everything I usually do, and it still looks a bit shit. So that's for those days. It's lovely, and it's 26 quid, and I think it's actually quite nice. And what you can also do is mix it in with your moisturiser as well. So just, bespoke your own face cream, I suppose. Now, I've waffled on far too long, as I sort of knew I would, so I will very quickly give a mention to the Bobbi Brown Extra Cleansing Balm. Again, gorgeous cleansing balm if you like a balm and if your skin is very dry. So this is one to keep an eye out for during the winter months, I would say. There's a little bit of a story about Bobbi being skiing somewhere like fantastically exotic and going, I need something for my skin. Oh, that was Marge, sorry, not Bobbi. But anyway, so that's apparently how this came about. But as nourishing balms go, it certainly does get everything off and leaves your skin feeling super supple afterwards. So there's none of that sort of drying effect at all. So anyway, that's it from me. Do your own Charlotte Tilbury make up your destiny. Use the hashtag make up your destiny, and think about ways that you could maybe pass on some tips, confidence tips, and just helping people to feel a little bit less negative, more empowered, because it is a nice little campaign. So thanks a lot, and I hope you really enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks, bye.